Good morning, students. Today we focus on the new concept, namely cyclotron. What is cyclotron? Uses of cyclotron, the construction and working of cyclotron, and finally we see the applications of cyclotron. See, cyclotron is a device, or cyclotron is a machine which is useful to accelerate charged particles like proton, deuteron, but it cannot be useful for uncharged particles and the particle which has very light mass like electrons. The cyclotron was invented by a scientist named Lawrence and Livingston in the year 1934 while they are doing the nuclear reactions. Now, how it is working? When the charged particle, if it is placed between crossed electric field and magnetic field, if
both the fields are applied, then the charged particle is accelerated and they can get high energy. So in that process they can get the maximum energy, because if they have the maximum energy, and the particles are useful for continuing the nuclear reactions. Now we see the parts, construction and working of this cyclotron one by one. See, this cyclotron consists of two D-shaped semicircular discs. Two D-shaped semicircular discs, hollow discs. This one I am call it as a D1. This one I am taking as a D2. The first disc I am taking as a D1 and the second disc I am taking as a D2. These two discs are connected to high frequency oscillator. These two discs are connected to high frequency oscillator. What is the use of this high frequency oscillator? By using this high frequency oscillator, we can vary the electric field between these two discs. And one more thing, here I am drawing few dots. Yesterday only I told you, if I am drawing the diagram crosses, it indicates the field, magnetic field is perpendicular and into the plane of paper. If I am drawing the dots, the magnetic field is perpendicular and out of the plane of paper, or out of the plane of board. Now here I draw the dots. The dot indicates the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the board, but it is out of the plane of the board. And the total arrangement is arranged in such a way that the electric field and the magnetic field both are perpendicular to each other. Here it is produced by electric field and here it is produced by magnetic field. But these two, the electric field and magnetic field, both must be perpendicular to each other. Now, perpendicular to each other. Now, to see the working of this cyclotron. See, initially a positively charged particle is kept between the these. A positively charged particle is kept in between these two D's, D1 and D2. D1 and D2. Now, this D1 and this D2 both are shielded, insulated from each other, and also these two D's are kept inside the vacuum chamber. Now, if they're insulated from each other means what is happening here? The electric field is 0 and the potential is constant. Here also electric field is 0 but the potential is constant, but the magnetic field is acting. Now, if I am keeping one charged particle between the D's, here I am keeping the D's, then what is happening? By using this high frequency oscillator, one D is positive and another D is negative. That means this D is positive. Positive means it is at high potential, and this D is a negative. That means it is at low potential. D1 is at high potential and D2 is low potential. Then what is happening? Here I am keeping one proton. Then what is happening? This proton, positive charged particle, is strongly attracted by this negative potential. And immediately it enters into the D2. But once it is entering into the D2, but there is no electric field. That is the reason this positively proton move with constant velocity. It can move with a constant velocity because electric field is 0 and potential is constant. It can move with a constant speed. But because of this magnetic field, this charged particle is moving in a circular path like this. I already told you, when the charged particle is entering into the magnetic field, it takes the circular path. But electric field has no effect. That is the reason it is moving with constant velocity. Now, after completion of this half of the semicircle, again it enters into the gap here. If it is entering here, now the polarity of the D's will be reversed. Means D1 will be negative, D2 will be positive. Now this time this becomes negative and this becomes positive. Then once the particle is entering between these two D's, then what is happening? Here? Again it is entering into the D1 because of negative potential and takes the circular path. Like this, the particle is accelerated. Here you see, when it is entering from D2 to D1, the radius is increasing. Its velocity is increasing. When it comes to here, its velocity is increasing again, its radius is increasing, and continuously the radius is increasing, the energy is also increasing, and finally it will come out from this deflecting plate with maximum energy. So this is the principle behind this cyclotron. So once again, see the working of cyclotron. Initially, I am taking two Ds, D1 and D2, Ds, D1 and D2 Ds, and these two are connected with one high frequency oscillator, Now, this high frequency oscillator is useful to produce a strong varying electric field between these two Ds. D1 and D2 are insulated from each other and they are kept in a vacuum chamber to shield from each other. Now, here only electric field is applied, but here there is no electric field is zero, but electric potential is constant. Now, the magnetic field is applied perpendicular to this electric field. Electric field and magnetic field both are perpendicular to each other. Now, here one charged particle is there, because here it is positive potential is there, here negative potential is there. That is the reason this charged particle is entering into this one, and because of this magnetic field, it takes the circular path. After completion of circular path, the polarity of the Ds, after completion of the one circular path, the polarity of the Ds reversed. The polarity of the Ds are reversed means here D1 becomes negative and D2 becomes positive. If the D1 is negative, D2 is positive, again it comes to here with a great speed. Then afterwards it takes the circular path and the radius is increasing. If the radius is increasing, the velocity is increasing. The velocity is increasing, it will be accelerated. If it is accelerated, then it gets the energy will be maximum. Then finally it comes out with the maximum. It comes out with the maximum energy. So in this way, the charged particles will be accelerated, and it is useful in the nuclear reactions. Now see the theory. Now see, first we find the radius of this particle. Yesterday I already told you, when the charged particle is moving in a magnetic field, force due to magnetic field is equal to force due to centripetal force. mv square by r is equal to bqv. 1v cancel, and finally radius is equal to mv by bq, and this is the radius of this charged particle. Now we will see how much time it takes to complete this half of the circle. Now the time taken to complete this half of the circle is equal to half of the time period of this complete of one oscillation. Now in such a case, for time taken to complete half of the oscillation is nothing but t by 2, half of the time, is equal to pi r by v. Because complete circle means I can take 2 pi r, but here only half of the time and half of the circle, that is the reason in place of 2 pi r I can take pi r by v. Now already r value we know, substitute the value here. T by 2 is equal to pi by v into r value mv by bq. We cancel, and finally t is equal to 2 pi m by bq. 2 pi m by bq. This is the time taken, and its frequency n is equal to 1 by t, that is equal to bq by 2 pi m, and this is the constant frequency. This frequency is also called as resonant frequency of cyclotron. This frequency is called as resonant frequency of cyclotron. And from this one we can find the kinetic energy is also. Kinetic energy Ke is equal to half mv square. Now this equation I can write in terms of velocity. BQR is equal to MV, or V is equal to BQR by M. Substitute this value in place of V square. So kinetic energy K is equal to half into M into V square value BQR by M whole square. So kinetic energy K is equal to half M V square Q square R square by M square, 1 M cancel, and finally Ke is equal to V square Q square R square by 2 M. Now from this relation, the kinetic energy is directly proportional to square of the radius. Kinetic energy is directly proportional to square of the radius. Kinetic energy is directly proportional to square of the radius means if the radius is increasing, the particle is accelerated and kinetic energy is also increasing. The kinetic energy is increasing means then if the energy is more and that energy is sufficient to sustain the nuclear reactions. Now once again see the mathematical part. See here the particle is entering into the D2. Because of magnetic field it takes circular path. If it is taking circular path, means two types of forces are acting: magnetic force and force due to centripetal. Force due to magnetic is equal to force due to centripetal. Force due to magnetic BQV, centripetal mv square by r, then we got radius r is equal to mv by bq. The later we'll find the resonant frequency. How it is possible to find the resonant frequency? Here you see how much time it takes. If it is the complete circle from here to here, it takes the half of the time period. Half of the time period for half of the circle. So t by 2 is equal to, if it is complete means time period t, 2 pi r by b. If it is half of the circle, it will be t by 2 is equal to pi r by b. Now what is the radius here? R is equal to the radius I am substituting here, and finally I got time period t is equal to 2 pi m by bq, and n is equal to 1 by t, then I got bq by 2 pi m. And this frequency we call it as a resonant frequency. What is the resonant frequency? Half of the time period of by the particle to take the semicircular path is equal to half the time period of the complete circle is completed in the electric field. Now later I can find the kinetic energies also. Kinetic energy K is equal to half mv square, and the same equation I am expressing in a different way to find the velocity. Velocity is equal to bqr by m, and I substituted here, then K is equal to half m into bqr whole square by m, and finally I got kinetic energy K is equal to b square q square r square by 2m, and kinetic energy is directly proportional to r square. Kinetic energy K is equal to directly proportional to r square. Now what are the uses? What are the uses of the cyclotron? Cyclotron is used in nuclear reactions. Cyclotron is useful to produce radioactive materials. Cyclotron is used to synthesize the materials. So many applications are there. So the cyclotron is very useful. And what are its disadvantages? See, it is used only for positively charged particles and particles which has high mass. Then only these are useful. The particles like lighter particles like electrons, these are not applicable. And again, the uncharged particles also, this machinery is not applicable. Uncharged particles like neutron we cannot use it for neutron to aspirate. So in this case, these two are the defects. So once again, we can conclude this topic. See,
A cyclotron is a device. A cyclotron is a device which can accelerate the charged particles like positive charged particles like proton, deuteron. Now, what is the principle behind this one? When the positively charged particle is placed between two crossed electric and magnetic field, electric field is used for acceleration, and magnetic field is useful to take the circular path. Because it's electric and magnetic field, both are crossed and both are perpendicular to each other. So that is the reason it takes the circular path, and finally the particle is accelerated and the maximum energy we can get. Okay, thank you.